Hello everyone, this is Sahiti from ECEB. My number is 93. Now I am going to explain about semiconductors. Semiconductors are crystalline solids. Here we have energy levels as 1s, 2s, 3s and so on, which are occupied by the electrons. These energy levels are present in a single atom, but when one atom is taken, then there will be single energy level. But when several atoms are combined, they form an interactive system. Then the energy levels split into n energy levels. When these isolated atoms are brought together to form a solid, various interactions occur between the neighboring atoms. During this interaction, the higher energy levels are affected considerably and consequently. Hence, the single energy levels of atoms split into large number of energy levels as shown in the figure B. Since there are many atoms in a solid, so the separation between the split energy levels is very small. Hence, the split energy levels are almost continuous and are said to form an energy band. There are energy bands in a solid corresponding to the energy levels in an atom. Energy band occupied by the valency electrons is known as the valence band, and the energy band which is empty or occupied by the conduction electrons is known as conduction band. On the basis of the forbidden energy gap, solids are broadly classified into following three categories: insulators, semiconductors, and conductors. First, let us talk about insulators. Solid behaves as insulator. Solid has even number of valence electrons per atom. The valence band and the conduction band separated by a large energy gap compared with kT. Due to the large band gap, electrons cannot jump from the valence band to the conduction band. So, in case of glass, valence band is completely filled at 0 Kelvin and energy gap between the valence band and the conduction band is of the order of 10 electron volts. Therefore, such solids behave as insulators because no free electrons are available to conduct electricity. Coming to semiconductors, the energy band gap between the filled valence band and the empty conduction band is small as compared to the insulators and more as compared to the conductors. Usually, this energy band gap is of the order of 1 electron volt. Germanium and silicon are the most common examples of semiconductors. In germanium, the forbidden gap is 0.7 electron volts, whereas in case of silicon, it is 1.1 electron volts. And at 0 Kelvin temperature, a semiconductor behaves as an insulator. But at room temperature, a semiconductor has the following peculiar properties. Yeah, partially filled conduction band. Conductors. In conductors, there is no forbidden gap between the valence band and the conduction band. It is observed that the valence band overlaps with the conduction band in metals as shown in the figure. There are sufficient number of free electrons available for electrical conduction. Due to the absence of forbidden gap between the conduction band and the valence band, there is no chance of presence of holes. Hence, the total current in conductors is simply due to the flow of electrons only. Chemical bonds in semiconductors. Semiconductors like germanium and silicon have crystalline structure. Both these materials are tetravalent valence electrons in the outermost shell. Based on the shared electrons, valence is determined. Semiconductors are tetravalent, that is, they have 4 valency electrons. Here, electronic configuration of germanium is given as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 3d10, 4s2 and 4p2. Free electrons are not involved in bonding. When electrons escape from the bond, empty space left in the valence band. That empty space is known as hole. Types of semiconductors. There are two types of semiconductors which are known as intrinsic semiconductors and extrinsic semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors. These are pure semiconductors, whereas extrinsic semiconductors are formed by adding the impurities to the pure conductors. A semiconductor in which electrons and holes are solely created by thermal excitation is called a pure or intrinsic semiconductor. The electrons reaching the conduction band due to thermal excitation leave equal number of vacancies or holes in valence band. That is, an intrinsic semiconductor or the number of free electrons is always equal to the number of holes, as shown in the figure. In the diagram, silicon is surrounded by 4 valency electrons. So, silicon is tetravalent. Extrinsic semiconductors. The electrical conductivity of pure germanium or silicon can be increased by adding impurities in the process of crystallization. The added impurity may be pentavalent or trivalent. The suitable pentavalent elements are phosphorus, arsenic, and antimony, etc. Whereas trivalent elements are boron, aluminium, and gallium, etc. Depending on the type of impurity added, the impure or extrinsic semiconductors can be divided into two classes. First one is N-type semiconductors and the other one is P-type semiconductors. So, N-type semiconductors are formed by adding pentavalent impurity. So, when a pentavalent impurity is added to a pure crystal during the crystallization, the resulting crystal is called N-type semiconductor. Since the current carriers are negatively charged, this type of semiconductors is called N-type semiconductors. Next, P-type semiconductors. When a trivalent impurity atom like boron or aluminium is added to a pure crystal during the crystal growth, the resulting crystal is called a P-type semiconductor. There is a deficiency of one electron which is called a hole. Fermi energy level. The maximum energy level occupied by a particle at 0 Kelvin temperature is known as Fermi energy level. So, calculation of density of electrons. Let us assume Dn with the number of electrons available between the energy interval E and E plus dE in the conduction band. Now, Dn is equal to G of E into F of E dE, where G of E dE is the density of electrons in the energy interval E and E plus dE. Now, G of E into dE is equal to 4 pi by h cube into 2m power 3 by 2 into e power 1 by 2 into dE. Since the electron is moving in a periodic potential, its mass has to be replaced by effective mass me star. Hence, G of E into dE is equal to 4 pi by h cube into 2m star whole power 3 by 2 into e power 1 by 2 into dE. Since E starts at the bottom of the conduction band EC, then G of E into dE is given as A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into dE. So, in this equation, F of E is the probability occupancy of the electrons of a given energy level E. That is, F of E is equal to 1 by 1 plus E power E minus EF by K into T. So now from these equations, Dn is equal to A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into F of E into dE. Now, to obtain total number of electrons in the conduction band at any temperature, we have to integrate the equation 6.4 from EC to infinity. So, for all the possible temperatures like E minus EF is greater than KT, so that the term unity in the denominator is neglected, then n is equal to integral of EC to infinity A into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into 1 by e power E minus EF by KT into dE, which equals after the calculation and which gives A into e power EF by KT integral from EC to infinity into E minus EC whole power 1 by 2 into e power minus E by KT into dE. So to solve these integrals, let us assume that E minus EC is as x and dE is equal to dx. And to calculate the density of holes, let dP be the number of holes available between the energy interval E and E plus dE in the valence band. So dP is equal to G of E into 1 minus F of E into dE, where G of E into dE is the density of holes. Since hole is moving in a periodic potential, its mass has to be replaced by effective mass mh star. Since EV is the energy of the top of the valence band, G of E into dE is given as B into EV minus E whole power 1 by 2 dE. So in this equation, 1 minus f of E is the probability of existence of holes in the valence band. For all the possible temperatures E minus EF less than KT, then 1 minus f of E, which is equal to 1 minus 1 by 1 plus e power EF minus E by KT, equals to e power E minus EF by KT. Now that equation becomes dP is equal to B into EV minus E whole power 1 by 2 into exponential of E minus EF by KT into dV. To obtain the total number of holes in the valence band at any temperature, we have to integrate the equation from minus infinity to EV. By substituting the above assumptions in the 6.11 equation and by solving, we get the number of holes per unit volume of the material, and it is given by P is equal to 2 into 2 pi into mh star into k into T by h square whole power 3 by 2 into e power EV minus EF by KT. Intrinsic carrier concentration. In an intrinsic semiconductor, N is equal to P is equal to Ni. It is called intrinsic carrier concentration. Here, Ni is given as 2 into 2 pi kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 me star mh star whole power 3 by 4 into e power minus eg by 2 kt. Fermi energy level in intrinsic semiconductor. Since N is equal to P in intrinsic semiconductor, we solve these equations and we get EF is equal to EV plus EC by 2. Variation of Fermi energy levels with respect to temperature. Fermi energy level is located halfway between the valence band and conduction bands. T is equal to 0 Kelvin. With increase of temperature, the Fermi level is displaced towards conduction band. If mh star is greater than me star, or downwards to valence band if mh star is less than me star. N-type carrier concentration. Here, Nd is the donor concentration and Ed is the donor energy as shown in the figure. With increase of temperature, more and more donor atoms get ionized and the density of electrons in the conduction band increases. So the density in the conduction band is given by N is equal to 2 into 2 pi me star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into e power ef minus ec by kt. The density of ionized donors must be equal to density of electrons in the conduction band at very low temperature. That is, after substituting an evaluation, we get the final equation as Ne is equal to 2Nd whole power 1 by 2 into 2 pi me star kt by h square whole power 3 by 4 into exponential of ed minus ec by 2 kt. Here, Ne is directly proportional to square root of Nd. Now, variation of Fermi level with temperature. As shown in the figure, with increase of temperature, Fermi energy level also slightly increases by this following equation. Ef is equal to Ec plus Ed by 2 plus Kt by 2 into log of Nd by 2 into 2 pi me star into Kt by h square whole power 3 by 2. Further increase in temperature, the Fermi energy level moves towards Ei. P-type carrier concentration. Hence, Na is the acceptor concentration energy level as shown in the figure. The density of holes is given by P is equal to Nh is equal to 2 into 2 pi mh star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into exponential of Ev minus Ef by kt. So the density is given by the following simplification, and at T is equal to 0 Kelvin, Ef is equal to Ea plus Ev by 2. Substituting the value of Ef from the equation 5 in equation 4, we get P is equal to Nh is equal to 2 into 2 pi mh star kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into exponential of Ev minus Ef by kt. On substituting and evaluating, we get the final equation as Nh is equal to 2 into Na whole power 1 by 2 into 2 pi mh star kt by h square whole power 3 by 4 into exponential of Ev minus Ea by 2 kt. Finally, we get Nh is directly proportional to square root of Na. So, variation of Fermi energy level with temperature. As shown in the figure, with increase of temperature, Fermi energy level decreases slightly. So, as the temperature increases more and more, acceptor atoms are ionized, and these are completely ionized at a particular temperature. Further increase in temperature, the Fermi energy level moves towards Ei, but never upward of Ei. Equation for conductivity. At finite temperature, due to thermal agitation, some of the valence band electrons are always present in conduction band and an equal number of holes are present in the valence band. When an electric field is applied, these electrons and holes get accelerated towards the opposite ends of the field and their velocity begins to increase. This increase in velocity, however, does not continue indefinitely because of the collision of these carriers with the various types of obstacles present in the semiconductor. This extra velocity acquired by the carriers in the presence of an applied electric field is called drift velocity, which is given by Vd is equal to mu e. And here drift velocity is directly proportional to the strength of applied electric field. And mu is equal to mobility of the charge carrier. Conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. If Nd denotes the density of electrons in the conduction band of semiconductor, the total charge per unit volume of the conduction band is Ne. Let the drift velocity of an electron due to an electric field E is Vd. So now the current density J is equal to Ne into E into mu E into capital E. Here sigma is the conductivity of the semiconductor due to electrons in the conduction band. Equating 1 and 2 and solving these equations, we get the total conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor is given by sigma is equal to E of Ne mu E plus Nh mu H. This above equation is called equation for conductivity in intrinsic semiconductor. Electrical conductivity of intrinsic semiconductor. In case of intrinsic semiconductor, the density of electrons in the conduction band must be equal to the density of holes in the valence band. So we can write it as Ne is equal to Nh is equal to Ni, where Ni is the intrinsic carrier concentration. So we know that Ni is equal to 2 into 2 pi kt by h square whole power 3 by 2 into Me star into Mh star whole power 3 by 4 into exponential of minus Eg by 2 kt. Substitute the value of Ni in the above equation. We get sigma is equal to 2E into mu E plus mu H into 2 pi kt by h square into Me star Mh star whole power 3 by 4 into exponential of minus Eg by 2 kt. Here, mu E and mu H are not strongly dependent on temperature in comparison to density of electrons and holes. Here, sigma depends upon temperature. Electrical conductivity of extrinsic semiconductor. N-type semiconductor. In N-type semiconductor, the electrical conductivity is primarily due to electrons in the conduction band and can be written as sigma is equal to Nd mu E into E. P-type semiconductor. In P-type semiconductor, the electrical conductivity is primarily due to the holes in the valence band and can be written as sigma is equal to Na into mu H into E. So, drift, diffusion and Einstein's relations. What is meant by drift? The motion of charge carriers under the influence of electric field is known as drift. I is equal to V by R and it implies I is equal to sigma E into A. What is meant by diffusion? The motion of charge carriers due to concentration variation is known as diffusion. The motion of charge carriers per unit length is directly proportional to minus dN by dx. So here J is equal to minus dE into dN by dx. Hence the total current density due to drift and diffusion in semiconductors is given by J total is equal to Ne mu E plus Pe mu H into Ex plus dN into E into dN by dx minus dP into E into dP by dx. Einstein's relations are given by d by mu is equal to dP by mu n, which is equal to dN by mu E equals kT by E, and which equals Vt. Here d is diffusion constant, k is Boltzmann constant, T stands for temperature in Kelvin, E stands for change of electrons, and mu stands for mobility. Hall effect. Hall effect was discovered by E. H. Hall in 1879. According to Hall effect, when a magnetic field is applied perpendicular to a current carrying conductor, a potential difference is developed between the points on opposite sides of the conductor. This effect gives information about the sign of charged carriers in electric conductor. The ratio of Hall electric field Eh to the product of current density J and magnetic induction B is known as Hall coefficient. This is denoted by RH. So RH is equal to Eh by Jb is equal to 1 by Ne. The Hall coefficient is negative when the charge carriers are electrons and positive when charge carriers are holes. There are few applications of Hall effect. First one is it gives information about the sign of charge carriers in electric conductor. It is found that most metals have negatively charged electrons. Second application is that it is quite helpful in understanding the electrical conduction in metals and semiconductors. Third is that Hall effect can be used to measure the drift velocity of the charge carriers. We know that Vd is equal to J by NE. And fourth is measurement of Hall coefficient gives the number of current carriers per unit volume. So I is equal to N into E into A into EH by B. Here let B be the breadth and D is the width of the face area of conductor. Then A is equal to B into D. So N is equal to IB by EBD into EH. Thank you.